Nayambirwe.
Sir, this is my ex.
Your ex? Serious? So you are lying to me? I thank God that this woman did not comment on that one. Sakumve wamva yankabanji which one? Ndio wamva nao.
If she's saying it, it's the truth. Exactly. When you are a teacher, you understand. If Uma members in baby, and I'm not members in straight, they are mental and straight. Juju. Yeah. What is this? Kim, we should talk about going to stay to it's girls to Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Strategies for blocking people suffering from discrimination. Your girl has done it.
Oh.
Monica.
Oh.
You have too many girls. Oh.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Zukabajo. Zukabaji. Are we ready? Abweleko tiambepo. I wish the whole class mukana kamuli muno. We should benefit from what I want to discuss with you. So do we now? Muzabange struggle pama Yesu. Can I start? Kabena tendikire uche. Why? That's not true. So can I kubwera? Ndakuona kale hapa. You just, if you be sleeping there, I don't care. Just be there, but I will not let you go. I'm not ready to let you go. I want to stay with you here. Okay. Tadalisikaso lero tapeza muntu wankulu kwambiri. Amenisama pezeka pamuzi pano kumale utili naye remote. Asogwe tantole ni pepa. Mnajoka mnali kuti? Mnasanzika usiku. Kwa kweli mimi mnasanzika. Chabuli. Akola kuti mvesisani muno bwino pa topic iyoyo. Munivesise muno bwino. Chonivesisira nchakuti pali mafuso angapo temu ino amena kuchokera pamene. So inuyo mukatailira pamenepo shauri yanu. I hope you're getting me well, right? Okay, last time, is it on? Yes. It's on? Ndizo kuti mwana nkulazisha. Tapanga ni check amene mukuchitsata bwino bwino. It's recording. Anyway, fine. They'll edit. Don't worry, they'll edit. Now, our topic is saying framework for practice. Framework. Let us paraphrase this. 1. Framework. Framework, this is for practice. Three, diverse, for oppressed. Are we together? We're first of all interested in this. Last time I started explaining to you, because the moment you understand this, you will not have some problems in dealing with A, B, C, D, etc., etc. Now, what did I say? The meaning of the word framework for practice. What does it mean? Amina, can you tell us?
Framework.
Yes, this one. Framework for practice. So you were not taking short notes because I'm not repeating this. Okay. First of all, practice. Your work requires practice. That is action. Right? You're supposed to put an action into, put practice into what? It's just the same as action. This is action. You social workers, your work requires actions. Your work requires actions. Social work is a practice kind of field. Whenever you'll be encountering some problems which your clients will be having, it requires you as a social worker to put whatever you want to intervene in any kind of problem into an action. You act on those problems. Right? Now, here, I'll substitute this word with this one. Support. Support. That is supposed to be given to a client when you are working with a client. Support, which is supposed to be given to a client when you are working with him or her. So, which means framework for practice with diverse. The word diverse, I can use many, substitute with many, or various, or different. Which means this word is pregnant. There are so many things here. So in this case, they are saying practice with diverse clients or oppressed clients. You know, the word oppressed, to oppress somebody is to do what? To press down. Kumpondeleza muntu. You don't wish him or her well. Right? Now, we are looking at these clients. The clients are diverse, which means examples of this diverse. It means those people, maybe we can say they are refugees or immigrants, women, the aged or adults, girl child, or children. Then, who else? People with disabilities. All these groups of people, they are inside here. So because of the status or statuses of these people, sometimes they're encountering oppression, bias, prejudice, stereotyping, and these have both positive and negative, but we're interested in the negative part of it. If we have, take for instance, we are taking a girl child who has been raped by an uncle or whosoever, or forcing her to have sex with somebody who is older than her. So which means that somebody has taken advantage over this particular girl. She's underage. She has been abused. So we need to support such kind of people. All these people who are under diverse need support when you are working with them. So this is what they are saying here. You know, they are going through negative or negativity, negative part of life. So they need empowerment. They need support from you as social workers. They need support from the community. That's what they're saying, a framework. That means support, which is supposed to be given to these people when you are working with them. So all these, they fall under this. Support to be given by social workers when it comes to culture. In culture, culture and ethnicity, they go together. Culture versus ethnicity. Take for instance, here in Malawi, we have got several cultures. I mean ethnic groups. The Lomwes, the Tumbukas, the Nkonde, the Yao. These are ethnic groups. So these groups have their own culture. They have, when it comes to culture, that's the way of life. When we are talking about culture, a good example of culture is food. Yaos can have their own type of food they like most. The Lomwes, they have their types of food which they like. And some of these foods will not be liked by another ethnic group. They have code of dressing. And you're not supposed to laugh at them. We know the Ngonis, sometimes their breasts, their tummies, they are exposed. But to other types of ethnic groups, they cannot do that. But you cannot laugh at them because it's not your culture, it's theirs. No culture is more superior than the other. They have language, etc., etc. So because of these, either one of these will disturb other ethnic group. Because of that, they'll be discriminated against. Take for example, Nkumba. Nkumba si kawili inde alipo ena achiao, kumano they associate chiao pamene pamala kuika zinthu kuti chiao ndi chipembedzo zinthu ziwiri zosiyana. Yao is a tribe. Koma matengedwa ngati yawo onse ndi Achiislamu. But the Muslims don't eat pork. Sikawili kuti upite boma la Mangochi kapena Machinga ukapeze anthu akweza mwamba Nkumba akugulisa. You see, they are very sensitive when it comes to this kind of food. Ndekwa anthu amene amadya Nkumba, sometimes they can be discriminated against. Now, how are you going to support such kind of people? That's why they have put here culture. There are some people in a certain group of, a certain kind of group of people which belong to a certain ethnic group can be discriminated against because of either food or code of dressing, and sometimes even language itself. They can suffer in the name of culture. Now, such kind of group of people need support. They need support. Again, we are supposed to look at social class and social identity. Social class, what does it mean? Social class, because in social class, there are people there. And a certain group of people is being discriminated against because it belongs to a social class. Or there's a certain group of people which belong to social identity can also be discriminated against. So they need support. Now, what does it mean when it comes to social class? Social class. What is the difference between social class and social identity?
Social class is a status of belonging. Then social identity is what defines.
What is the difference between social class and social identity?
Social class is a division of people according to their worth.
Division of people according to their worth. Mm-hmm.
Social identity is,
is how one describes themselves.
Social identity.
Social identity is when it's how people view themselves in their society, depending on how they interact with who they associate with.
Mm-hmm.
Social class, the mentions of ways among these people in society.
Chili mwanzake pakati pa ichi ndichi. Chili mwanzake.
Social identity.
Social identity is in social class. That's very true. Social class is a group of people with same characteristics, same taste of interest, and so on and so forth. In short, I can say so. Now, we've got 3 classes when we are in the society. When it comes to social class is being described or is being categorized into 3 levels. Level number 1, upper class. 2, middle class. And lower class. Now, there are some people who are grouped here, and these people have their own IDs, identity. Can you see that? There are people who belong to upper class, and those people have their own IDs. And the other one is middle class. They also have their IDs. The lower one is also that one. Listen to this. Social class and identity, social identity. United Kingdom society consists of different social classes, upper, middle, and they have put it like working class. Upper class values or deferred gratification, future time to orient. An education based around private boarding schools, no, these are the IDs. These are the IDs. And if we go to like France, they have also their classes, not very far from the ones which I've just put there. The characteristics of the upper class. Who can give me a good example of the characteristics of those people who belong to the upper class?
They are very wealthy.
Wealthy, yes.
Luxurious cars, luxurious houses.
Those are examples. Yes?
Location.
Yes. Those are the IDs. Now, most of the times, those people who are being discriminated against because of their status, because of their ID, are these people who belong here. And for you who are here, to marry somebody from either here or here is very difficult.
Nowadays, I think this was happening in Kalikali. These days,
What is the difference between that time and now?
I feel like that time people were looking down upon themselves. They didn't have that confidence. And
they lacked confidence.
Exactly. As from the lower class, we are eating the upper class. I know I'm telling you from experience.
Yes, yeah, nakasiya, yeah, my feelings. You are right. Sasa nalagwisa, sana lagwisa. Sana lagwisa. Chimozi mozi. Sana lagwisa. Wako hapa klasi ya ni my feelings. Wako hapa klasi so and my feelings. My feelings is sasa yana so maka chimozi. Yeah, it's an element. It's not kulimba ntima. You know, the problem with those people who are in the upper class, they look down upon Adrian Amos. When it comes to even love thing, love is blind. Power of love. When it triggers, oh, come on. So, can you see? We are very much interested in these people who are being discriminated against because of their status. That's why they have brought it here. How can you support such kind of people who are being victimized because they belong to a lower class or they belong to the upper class? Sometimes even the upper class, they are being discriminated against by these people who belong here. Just the prejudice or stereotype. Hey, antaminacho. Hii ndio zikwenda kwa mbili. Yes. You see, that's we call it fear of the unknown. Sometimes we suffer because of fear of the unknown. Kapena mwina umanguganizira chimene mundu zako sali chonjo. That's a prejudice. Kunganizira nzako chimene sali. That's prejudice. You start calling all sorts of names, or satanic and the like. They don't come to your house. They cannot greet you. They are afraid of you simply because you have money. And those monies, you don't belong to the underworld, no. You are sweating when you want to get money. But to them, was satanic. They start discriminating you. So, whichever the way, because of culture, social class, and social identity. Now, when it comes to race. Race. What is race? What is race? I don't know what. You're saying? Yeah. Yes, you can give it to us. Race, we have got the whites and the blacks, but as well as the mixture of white and black. That's known as colored. The colored. You see? You can belong to the white class and people start talking bad against you. You can also belong to black group. They'll also start talking bad against you as well. So those people sometimes do suffer because of racism, color by system. Like in South Africa. Do you know what happened in South Africa? Apartheid, color by system. People were discriminated against. They could not come close. Yes, even in Zimbabwe. By the time maybe they were practicing that, Kimberly was not yet born. Yes, of course, they changed. Do you know why things changed? After independence. Yeah. So the color by system, race. Those people who are discriminated against because of color, they go through a lot of things, stress, and so on and so forth. Oppression. What about oppression? Oppression. Who can say something? Who can tell us about oppression? Who can tell us about the oppression? What is oppression in the first place? What is oppression? Yes. The word oppression is coming from a Latin root, primere. Oppression comes from a Latin root, primere. It's a Latin root, primere, meaning pressed down. Primary simply means pressing down. Is a Latin root, primary, pressing down. And if we go to Merriam Dictionary, Merriam-Webster defines oppression as unjust or cruel treatment. Cruel treatment or exerted by the authority or exercised by those people who are in power. Oppression can be exercised or exerted by those people who are in power or those with the ability. I mean, can oppress, can press down others, can execute unjust kind of treatment to others simply because they have authority or they have ability. So by imposing burden on the weak, that's oppression. And that one has got a negative impact on those people who are being oppressed. Negative impact on those people, I can call them those who are having weak state. They are weak. So to those who are oppressed can either be affected in the body or mind. Did you hear me? That can either be oppressed, and that oppression can either affect them in the body or mind. Kuzuzika maganizo muntu. Mazoli maganizo amaondesa. Wapita kwa kaenda, kapena mwina amena kupanga oppress, wachoka hapo pita kuchito. The moment is back. Akangochoka hapo iwe free mind ulinayo. Ungobwera kwa yeye kalikali. Kuswantende. So we can conclude that oppression is the social act of putting severe restrictions on an individual or group or even in an institution. That's oppression. When can we be oppressed? When can we be oppressed? People can be oppressed when they experience or when they indulge in one of the following, either in political cycle or because of economic status or culture or even social degradation. If you belong to a certain culture or ethnic group, you can be oppressed. I did mention about that earlier on. If you belong to a certain political party, you differ in following or in supporting political parties. Someone can be in Malawi Congress Party, the other one can be maybe in DPP. You can oppress each other, more especially when your party is in a driving seat. You want to oppress others. And such kind of oppression or oppressions, they do happen because they belong to a certain social group. And those who cause such kind of oppression normally belong to a certain structure of domination. Those people who oppress others can either be or can belong to a structure of domination, they dominate, or subordination. Because if you're a subordinate, then those people whom you are oppressing, they're on the opposite of subordination is what? Eh? Anyway, you are fourth year students. Now that's about the oppression. So those people who are being oppressed, they need support. Those people who are being oppressed need support. Let us come to ethnicity and ethnocentrism, centrism. It comes from ethnicity. And here, discrimination. Ethnicity. I'm a living example. I suffered because of that. I always give examples of that. I'm a living example. Not only me, but the others as well. Even up until today, they're suffering because they belong to a certain ethnic group. Zikuchitika. Malawi momo sikuti ku dziko lina asola kunja Malawi momo. Fedi iweyo nklasi somo muno. Fedi iweyo ndi wantundu wina waje. Koma peto wake umasafala chifukwa chakuti iweyo ndi wantundu wina waje. Now such kind of people need support because they can either be victimized in the mind or physically. Kumenyedwa kumene physically or in the mind. Anzawa kwa mpula zoipa because they belong to a certain kind of ethnic group. What about gender and sexist oppression? You are being oppressed because you belong to a certain gender or you belong to a certain kind of sex. Gender. What is gender? What is the difference between gender and sex?
Gender is by birth. Sex.
Gender is by birth?
No, sex is by birth. Gender you can choose.
Okay. Gender refers to the socially constructed roles, behaviors, expression, and identities of girls, women, boys, men, gender diverse people. That's gender. And sex, this one is, it refers to a set of biological attributes in humans and animals. It is associated with the physical features and also physiological features. Are we together? That's sex. Now, gender oppression. There is a certain group of people, either you can be a boy or a man, and you regard yourself to be doing things that can be done by women, and you call yourself, you categorize yourself into that group of women. And if you are doing that, we are calling it like gender identities. Gender identity. You want to be recognized by that ID. You want to be recognized by that ID. So when we're talking about gender identity, that is to say the term gender identity refers to personal sense of an individual's own gender, your own gender. Because a person's sex and the gender identity don't have to be the same. It is important to know the difference between them, yes, of which it is true, you're supposed to know about those differences. You can be a man and regard yourself to be a woman. And you'll be doing other things which women are doing. A good example is Aunt Tio. Aunt Tio, when it comes to sex, he was created a man. But some of the things which he does the things which women are doing. Yes, he lives in South Africa. Whether should we say she lives in South Africa. Now, such kind of people who have chosen to be identified whilst they are the other sex, but they're doing roles which can be played by the opposite sex, they're being discriminated against. They're being oppressed. Now, such kind of people, they need support. But I can remember I received a different opinion from my dear friend here. Both of them. Do you remember you people? Iwe tasia phone. Ulindi phone tasia phone. Even my headset yako chosapo. I know you're not paying attention to me. You're very busy with your phone. Chosa my headset yako, phone yako, you put it in your bag. Put it in your bag. I don't want to see it. Put it in your bag. I don't want to see it with you there. So, I'm talking about those people who are being oppressed because of gender. Now, what do you think can those people go through when you are being oppressed because you belong to a certain gender? They can be depressed. So you are social workers. How are you going to help such kind of people who are being oppressed because of gender? So today you are agreeing with me, they need support. I remember that other time you were against helping them.
Yeah, but I'm agreeing. It's my job. I do it.
It's your duty. Now you are ready to help them. That's very nice. If you are ready to help them, then that's good. Because you're not supposed to judge them. You as social workers, it's not your duty to judge them, but it's your duty to support them, to help them. Right?
Yeah, like how are you going to judge PDD? Yeah, but this is
PDD.
He's gay, but he said it's abusing others.
PDD is doing what?
He's sex trafficking.
He's sex trafficking people.
Yeah, and abusing. And abusing. All like that's what all those famous people, you know, Kim Kardashian, Beyonce,
my question is, did you hear any complaint from those people whom we are saying they're being oppressed? I mean, they're being abused.
Now they are open about it now.
Like who was open about it?
Just me.
Me.
Awesome. You wanted to see girls, that's why you are laughing. That's why. My love, how are you? Okay, so I wanted to talk to you, say,
So my question is, did you hear them complaining?
yes.
They're being abused. I mean, they're being oppressed.
Yeah, now they're coming.
Eh?
Because PDA was behind that. A connection in Lima.
Osadi, they are doing that out of Sanjebwin.
No, it's literally they can say she's house, they count 1,000 plus photos of oil, when they are doing that, there's a channel in his house where there are beds, protection, chan. A lot of nasty things. Girls will not be.
Okay, what about sexist? Sexist oppression. What kind of oppression is this one? Sexist. Sexism, what does that mean?
This is whereby people
are being discriminated according to
their sex. Their sex. Okay, sexism is or refers to prejudice or stereotyping, discrimination, typically against either women or men in different careers, more especially when it comes to opportunities. Here, a very good example is being given to women. They are saying it's a practice of unofficially excluding women who have children from career opportunities. Take for instance, if there's a girl who is working somewhere, and when the opportunity to upgrade her education comes. Yes. Okay, a good example they have given us sexism at work. Sexism at work. They are saying, for example, in a meeting or in meetings, sometimes you were expecting to get responses from either men or women to contribute in a meeting. But when a time comes for a woman to contribute, they'll prefer to have a hand from a man and not a woman, saying, can you see that? That's a good example in a meeting. That's you are favoring a man rather than a woman, sometimes for managerial positions. If you want to promote somebody who is working in that institution, then the management is going to prefer choosing a man rather than a woman. That's sexism. That's sexism. My dear friend, Islam Chitikira. Mfuseli. Now, if it happens at a workplace, it happens like that. Do you think it can have any negative effect to either a company or a person who has been discriminated against or oppressed? Sexism, does it have negative impact to both of them, to the institution as well as to a person who has been oppressed?
Yes.
Let us start with the oppression on the side of employer. Machisanzo pano. Panopa institution in employer, then tintenge nsikana metanene amucha. Employer apangid affected.
Yes.
How?
If you are doing that move that you're showing me, I'm useless as an employer there. Or for example,
Pali employer olemba nchito, employee olembedwa nchito. Now I'm asking to both of them, to the employer, kwa sexism, can it have an impact on the organization?
No, because
it's them who are doing that.
So you are trying to tell me kuti wopanga uyuyu wopanga inja employee, yes, is impanga affect. Is this what you are telling me?
Affect the company because let's say the person they are oppressing is somebody who has more knowledge of it that can improve the company. Then maybe you're not giving them the chance to express themselves. You're getting lost because you are pulling people who doesn't have knowledge of it.
Perfect. I wanted that one. Organization imene kupanga suppress mzimai in the name of sex. It means it's going to be injured as well. Mukumpanga uyu alini knowledge, uyu andi expertise panchito pacha. Kumopeza kuti mukumpondeleza. Yesu abisa luso lake. Has skill. Abisa. Which means the organization is also going to be affected. Uyuyu, yes. In the first place, Mampanga Inja has been affected, yes, in the mind or physically. But you should also expect a loss to the organization. So both ways. The institution is going to be affected. Uyuso is also is going to be affected as well. Is going to be affected as well. So that's the disadvantage. Again, withdrawal of women from maybe the organization. Can withdraw. Can pull out. But it will take time. Because even mbili kozo kufala. Ibi takwina akakamba kuti kuchapa amapondeleza atsikana. So ngakhe mundu ataka kuti mwina ntchito akuidziwa. Akozokana kubwera uzakugwira ntchito. Yes, reputation. Yes. Kumene kuchama zonza asikana. So again, to women, they will develop negative feelings. Kumanso, nchito, sanga balimbikile. They become less productive. Kumanso, they will not be very much committed to that work because they are being oppressed. So, how are you going to help such kind of people? Kevin, leave that phone. Yes, leave that phone. Leave those people alone. Concentrate. Go sit there. Sit there. I want to see you there, over there. Sit there. Sit there. Leave him alone. Okay, so I'm saying, how are you going to help those people who are being oppressed in the name of sex?
We'll give them another job where they feel important.
As simple as that.
Yeah. You know, if you don't want me, Panchito, I should move.